Hello and welcome back to another video. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Teacher Natalie, and recently I have decided to take a little bit of a career change. So most of my videos on my YouTube channel will be about my online teaching experience. I have been an online teacher for about 3 years, working on a few different platforms. I still teach online, and at the current moment I am full-time as an online tutor. I am in the process of having a bit of a career change. I have decided to become a teaching assistant. So in my last video, I was talking about the process in becoming a teaching assistant in the UK. And as of right now, I have secured a placement in a primary school in the UK, which I'm very excited about. I'm going to share the school with you. I'll tell you a little bit about what happened. So in my local area, I sent out some emails. I applied to about 5 schools and I just said, look, I'm potentially wanting a career as a teaching assistant. I need to have experience working in a primary school, and I'm starting a college course next week actually now, and if I can come as a volunteer. And I haven't heard back from 2 of the schools haven't responded at all. I did hear back from 2 schools and it was just a no, which is fine. One of the schools said they're not taking on volunteers at the moment, all the best with my career. And the other school just said no, they weren't taking teaching assistants. So fair enough. Then the other school I'd applied to said yes, they were taking volunteers and they would happily have me on board and they would love to meet with me and show me around the school. So I was very excited. So I went up the road, I met with the assistant head teacher. She was lovely. She showed me around the primary school. And basically, because it's a small school in the village, they don't have as much government funding, so they're not able to employ as much help as in teaching assistants and other support workers. So they were really happy for me to be there as a volunteer, which was wonderful. So it made me think that the bigger schools, obviously there's more funding from the government, which means there's more employment. There's probably more teaching assistants, which means they're not always looking for as much help, which again makes sense. And I've learned from that experience. So I sat down, discussed the hours I'm going to work. I'm going to work a minimum of 8.5 unpaid hours, volunteering there for about a year, just depending on how I get on, of course. The course I'm going to be doing is for a year. I have my interview next week, and then that will be potentially starting at the end of February. So very excited. I'm going to be working with the younger students first, so year 1, year 2, which roughly works out in the UK when it's primary school year 1 and 2. I believe that is about 7 years old, 6, 7 years old, and then I'll be working with the older students within time. I'll be in the classroom, so I'll be just assisting with the teachers and helping the students, if they're struggling. And yeah, very excited. It's not really a lot to say in this video. I can give you some updates later on in a few weeks, just to let you know how I'm getting on, if it's still something I want to do. And I'm going to be sharing the curriculum and what it's like to be teaching in schools in the UK at this current time, because it's been a long time since I was at school. I was at primary school. Ooh, I'm 29 years old, so I'll let you do the maths, but I was last at school about 10 years old, 10, 11, and then you leave and go to secondary school in the UK. So yeah, I'm just interested to see what the curriculum is like. I did have a conversation with my assistant head teacher, and she was talking about diversity and wanting to diverse the school a little bit. It's a Church of England school, which is a Christian school, and I'm not a religious person, but I was born into a religious family. My parents aren't religious, but my grandparents were. And going to school, obviously, was a Church of England school, with it being the UK. Yeah, we'd go to church on certain days, and we would obviously perform Christmas plays and would be very much involved with the faith. And obviously England's, a very multicultural country, and the school were talking more about diversity. So it'll be just interesting to see what it's like today compared to when I was at school. There's a lot of things going on, a lot of changes. So yeah, it'll be just really interesting. So yeah, follow my journey. And I can share the email that I received from the school if you're interested in that. It won't be that interesting. But I'm very excited. Yeah, let's see what happens.
And here is the email I sent out to a school, and then here is the other email that I received from the school.